What's happening, boys? It's your boy Bob Rock here, and this is the B Rock RC show. Welcome. Hello. Sorry about that. I seem to have be having some technical difficulties here. But yeah, this is your boy Bob Rock, and this is the B Rock RC show, a live podcast for the drifters by a drifter. Welcome, everybody. Did you notice my new artwork there? That's courtesy of my boy Young Clooney. Thank you, sir. We really appreciate it. I think it looks fantastic. So yeah, thank you so much for that. Welcome everybody. Welcome. Thank you for joining in. How was the weekend? Was it good? Did you have some good sessions in? Some good drift sessions? What did you get up to? Our essay was live with a whole bunch of RC drifting action. Um, Here in Durban, at my club, we had a round two. So I'm going to bring you a recap of what happened there. The Joburg, Johannesburg area, um, they also ran. They finally ran the first round of their league, but I'll do a recap of that and I'll explain to you why it's the first. It was the first round there, and then many other stories that we are going to be talking about. Hey, what's up, Cisco? Thanks for listening in, brother. Can always depend on you for that support. Thank you very much. Yeah, and then together with the happenings in Durban and Johannesburg, I'm also going to be bringing you guys a little bit about Cape Town and what's happening there. Or as Cisco had mentioned, Cape Town Round 2 is happening this coming weekend, which is fantastic. So yeah, I'm gonna bring you some of my thoughts around what's going on at Cape Town there. So on this episode, as I mentioned earlier, I'm gonna bring you couple of stories. What's happening, Verve? What's happening? What's happening? Thank you for joining in, brother. Appreciate it. Chester, Chester the Jester. That's what I'm going to call you from now on. If you're going to call me Bob the Builder, I'm going to call you Chester the Jester. So thank you, guys. Thank you so much for joining in. Um, yeah, so, continuing a little bit from last week, uh, where I had promised to bring you a couple of stories about um, one of the most fantastic parts about the RC drifting community, which is the amount of generosity that goes on within the community, and it's absolutely unbelievable the amount of brotherhood and generosity that goes on here. So speaking to some people that have come from other RC disciplines, um, these guys have mentioned to me that they found RC drifting to be the most welcoming, the most heartwarming, the most fun that they've come across. Like, for example, in the racing scene, I know that the guys are quite tight-lipped, or they tend to keep their cards more towards the chest. In terms of like sharing knowledge, tips, tricks, and all of those things. Whereas in the drifting community, we want everybody to be on point, on their 110%. We want to go up against your best, and I think that's the one of the beauty parts about RC drifting, is that we want everybody to be on point. Hey, Bob. Welcome, Bob, from Bob. Welcome, David. Thank you so much. Thanks everybody for listening in, and welcome to everybody. Really appreciate you guys listening in. It kind of warms my heart to see so many of my friends and so many of you guys that I look up to joining me on this little chat that I had going on. Um, so I thought I'd bring you a couple of stories. I think uh, my biggest story. I think let's do that one big story. Uh, so my biggest story would have to be me getting to the Worlds 2019. I think for me that had to be the biggest, best, most unbelievable thing that has happened to me. Absolutely. Oh, thanks, Rob. Uh, I'm not quite sure how to take that compliment. So Rob says, "Good to hear your voice, Bob." Okay, well, hey, thanks, bro. I don't get too many compliments, so I'm gonna take every single compliment I can get. Okay, so Perry says the difference is that you drift with somebody and race against them. Yeah, I absolutely agree. And um, I think that everybody who drifts gets the most amount of excitement in a tandem. I know I do. Like getting right in the damn door of your friend, of your opponent, whoever the hell that is. You want to get right in the door and stick with them all through the track. I think that's the most exciting part about about drifting on the track. Jeez, I'm sorry. I'm getting a little bit tongue tied also because I'm reading I'm reading some of Rob Fischeri's. Jeez, I hope I pronounced your name right. Some of his comments. Your accent, just like you like my New York accent. Well, yeah, I mean that New York accent is pretty cool. And Viv says, "RC drifting for life." Yes, my brother. Yes, yes, yes. Absolutely. RC drifting for life. I honestly, uh, now that I'm in so much with the RC drifting, I sometimes I wonder, like, how did I do without RC drifting? So, it's definitely been the most satisfying, most uh, successful hobby that I've undertaken. I don't know about you guys. Um, let's see. Okay, so Rich says, I don't know about that. Most top eight nowadays are people racing against each other. Um, in some part, I would agree with that because in some sectors I found that, or not some sectors, geez, it makes it sound so formal. In some places I've seen guys chasing speed more than enjoying the actual drift. So I suppose in some way I kind of agree. Um, and I wish that I hope that we return back to uh, chasing the drift instead of chasing the speed. If you get what I mean. Um, I don't think that at the same time I don't think that having speedy drifts is such a bad thing. A little bit of speed here and there surely isn't that bad, but to find that drifting has slowly become something of a race and rather than a drift, I think we need to just put a pause on it and rethink the way we're drifting, and then go back to maybe just go back to the basics. Keep it nice and easy, like how we remember drifting to be. I don't know. So yeah, that's an interesting conversation to have. Drift with, not against. 100%. I also agree with that. Drift with and not against. Maybe we should turn that into a hashtag. Drift with and not against. kind of has a nice ring to it. Nicely done, Rich. Thank you. Okay, so Rob says, as the bracket got smaller, speeds went up, and this is he's talking about with regards to worlds. And I must admit, I did notice that, and I can say that because I was there. I'm not trying to boast. I'm just so grateful for being there. And yeah, back to the first thing I was talking about, which was about the generosity in the drifting community. And for me, the biggest thing was actually everybody getting together and helping me out to get to Worlds. And it's something that I will never forget. And it's also at the same time, it's something that I I just I can't repay, and I can't not ever there's never gonna be enough thank yous to cover up how much that meant to me, or to cover up repaying for that kind of generosity. It's beyond, it was beyond my expectation, and I'm forever grateful to every single person that helped, either in every single way, even if it was just support, a supporting word, whatever it was, I'll never ever forget it. And it's been one of the it's been the highlight of my whole drifting journey. So I hope that you guys have also experienced that level of generosity, or that that sort of moment in your drifting journey. And it was such an incredible feeling, getting towards meeting my man Rob and Asif. That was something I never thought I would do in a long time, let alone getting to Worlds, because I had been speaking to some of these guys for like years, and then to finally meet them was sure. I genuinely had to hold back tears there, simply because I was so overwhelmed with happiness. And then the moment I saw those doors at the hall, and then stepping through those doors, I can't I think only if you've done the same will you understand the feeling. um, so same, like what Cisco says, agree Bob, same for me, man. Mind blowing and super grateful. Absolutely, bro, absolutely. Okay, so Monet says true drift community is very generous, helping out someone that's starting with advice and setups on car, and lending a hand with electronics just to try and help you start. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, jeez, of course, Rich. How can I forget you, bro? You and Rob and Kyle and Anthony, and let's see who else. Who am I forgetting? Manny, they, all you guys. So whilst we were at Worlds, and after the competition for the day had ended, myself and the SA boys, we went to hang out with the US boys, and it was like meeting brothers you haven't seen in years, yet you've been keeping in contact with, and it was absolutely amazing meeting all you guys. Um, Geez, do you know? I'm sorry. I'm starting to get a little bit lost for words here, because because that's how much worlds means to me, and all the SA boys, especially. And I'm sure a lot of the guys that's also going to worlds, you guys, you know what I'm talking about. You know why I'm getting tongue twisted a little bit. Just meeting everybody, and geez, it's so on another level, absolutely on another level. And I encourage you, if you can, and if Worlds does happen again, fingers crossed, we all are praying that we have another Worlds competition happening. You guys really should go. um, it will be one of the best moments in your life. The best moments in your life. Let's see. Adult summer camp, 100%, man, 100%. You know what? Speaking about summer camp, the the sun setting that late really messed me up, dude. It really messed me up. So, in my city, the sun sets about 6, half past 6, 7 o'clock in the afternoon latest. But here in Netherlands, we get there and 9 o'clock goes. 8 o'clock goes, 9 o'clock goes. The sun is still shining nice and bright. 10 o'clock goes, and then it starts setting. And I was like, "What is this craziness?" It was something that I've never experienced before. I think in Cape Town, the sun sets a bit late in the summer, so they kind of had an idea, but like I've never experienced that before, and it was crazy. But I loved it. I absolutely loved it. So, for the guys that just joined in, welcome. Thank you for joining in. This is your man Bob Rock, and this is the B Rock RC Show, a live podcast for the drifters by a drifter. If you didn't notice earlier, I have new cover art. Thanks so much to my man Young Clooney. He hooked me up with that. Thank you very much, sir. It looks fantastic. I absolutely love it. Yeah, so that was the quite an experience being there at Worlds in the Netherlands. Okay. So Perry says only in the summer. In the winter, it's dark at 4:30. Dude, we have to say that's like our normal sunset here in my city, bro. So yeah, another thing I wanted to talk about, and I'm sure you guys have experienced this as well. There's always that one guy at the track, you know, that one little bit oddball guy that's a little bit extra, if you know what I'm trying to say. That one guy that's a little bit borderline. Is he okay? Is he meant to be outside? Is he allowed to be outside? Does he need a helmet? That kind of thing. So in our club we have one such guy, and he's like a little bit extra with some extra on top of that. And jeepers, he's like quite a character. On social media, I actually think that he shouldn't be on social media anymore, because the way he speaks can be seen as quite annoying. I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. But on the track side, he's actually quite decent. He's not a bad guy. Not all that bad, but jeepers, he is one of those extra guys. So, do you have one of those guys at your track? Or maybe. Oh, no. That's where I wanted to end it. I didn't want to go any further, bro. I didn't want to go any further. But I think you know who I'm talking about. So I'm just gonna leave it there. I'm just gonna leave it there. There's always that one extra guy. So if you got one of those, let's hear a little bit about it. um, so I had a message during the week last week where somebody asked me about how to create a club, and how do you maintain it and build it up. So that's actually quite a long topic to speak on. So I'd like to address it, and I'd like to give it some full attention. But I think that perhaps I'll leave it for the next episode, because this episode now and the topic that's going is just absolutely lit. So I'm having so much of fun there, and I think something like creating a club and how to manage it, how to build it is a little bit more serious. And today, I don't know. I'm feeling a bit lighthearted. I'm feeling like I want to laugh a little bit and keep things a little bit comedic and not so how can I put it? Not so tight, not so stern, let's say. So yeah, I'll handle that next week, guys, if you don't mind. Let's see. Hey, what's up, Hank? Thanks for listening in, bros. Thanks for listening in. Okay. Um, However, one point I would like to speak on, and that's promoting the hobby. Um, so ever since I started the club, I've been actively trying to promote RC drifting in whichever way I can, and I suppose the podcast is one of those ways. But more than that, promoting the hobby has taught me a hell of a lot, especially in SA with promoting the hobby. What I found, and I don't know about how it is on your end of the world, guys, but when it comes to promoting the hobby, especially this side, we can't rely on just a few people to make that effort to promote the hobby. It, RC drifting is it's a community based, social based hobby. So you can't just depend on one or two people to do the job of the many. Promoting the hobby is also your, I won't say your duty, but it's something that you also need to do if you are in the hobby. It can't just be like the management of a club or the guys that own or run the drift track. It can't only be the people that run the hobby shops. It has to be you as well. You as a drifter on the track, or you as a drifter as part of the club. You also need to lend a hand in promoting the hobby, and by that I mean whoever you come across. I'm sure by now. I'm sure by now that people you speak to, people who know you, your friends and stuff, uh, they promote or they know rather they know your that you are in the hobby and that you drift. So I'm sure you must have been asked like what's going on with the hobby and things like that. So uh, sorry guys, just hold on a minute here. Just let me see what's going on. Okay, no, it's fine. It's cool. So yeah, like I was saying, promoting the hobby also, we also need your help to promote the hobby. And this I'm speaking from personal experience as well. We can't only have one or two people promoting the hobby, and that's what I'm trying to get more of my friends to do is to also promote the hobby. So we really need to put more effort into that. You know? Okay, I just needed to switch places here. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, we want more people to join in, and we want to also maintain the hobby. So we need to actively promote what's going on within the hobby, and promote it in such a manner that more people decide to join in. So yeah, man, just think about it. Give it a thought. Um, how did you come to learn about RC drifting and your your club or your local track? So think about it that way and think about the longevity of it. Okay, so that brings about that story. So I wanted to just pick up on a couple of things like what was happening this weekend in and around SA. So I'll start off with my boys up in Joburg, up in Gauteng. Can you say Gauteng? Hashtag local is lekker. Always remember that. If you guys, if you guys listen to my couple episodes ago where I spoke about local is lekker, go back and have a listen. And I where I explain what lekker means. I think that you guys will be quite interested in that one. Okay, so I think it was Saturday was round one of the GP series that happened in Johannesburg, South Africa, um, and at a place called Edenvale. Now, Edenvale is the home of the EDC, which is the Edenvale Drift Circuit. Now, recently they've just I won't say revamped, but they've added to the already really good outside concrete track. So they've managed to roof the whole area, and it's looking absolutely amazing. So now, come rain or shine, day or night, the guys can go and drift there, and it's quite an awesome track. Um, so they actually meant to start their league a few weeks back, but because everything sort of fell into place in terms of the roofing of that track, um, they postponed it for good reason also. So that finally they were done with that, and they began their round one of their series. Um, so on the day, I had a chat with a couple of the guys just to get to know what it was like on the day. So uh, they've recently been having some bad weather. So on this day, it just so happens that they had perfect weather. The conditions were absolutely ideal for drifting. The area was roofed. Everybody was in the shade. It was cool, calm, and collected, and everybody had a blast. Um, so the one of the things that they've experienced for the first time ever was that they didn't have any they didn't run an all-wheel drive category for the first time. So I found that quite interesting because what that tells me is that all-wheel drive slash CS really is dying out there. So, however, in Durban we're still running an all-wheel drive category. So it makes me want to rethink the way we are doing things down here in Durban. But again, as I've said in a previous episode about how we engage our new drifters into the hobby here in SA because of so many reasons. So, but perhaps I need to rethink that. So we'll have a look at that. So other than that, the GP series seems to have gone off without a hitch. They've managed to get three set judges throughout the comp. Now that's something which we only recently we've been implementing because in our competitions this side we don't have a large number of guys who really know how to judge. So it's very interesting that or it's very good to know that they had three set judges throughout the day. So that means consistent judging, which I think from speaking to the guys, they really appreciated that, and they found that the judging was fair, and they were quite happy with it. So big ups to them on that, and I wish them well uh, wish him well on the future competitions. And my whole intention is to actually go up and try and do a couple competitions up in Joburg and Cape Town. So I'm still trying to work things out, but we'll see how that goes. Okay, so Stuart says it's no use doing an all-wheel drive round with two participants. Well, duh, you got like first and second place already. But yeah, yeah, it doesn't make sense. It really doesn't make sense. That's like flogging a dead horse. So and like I said, that's why I think perhaps that's the culmination of all-wheel drive. So it really is a dying and almost a dead category of RC drifting. And but like I said, in Durban we still got so many guys doing all-wheel drive. So and I know in Cape Town there's quite a few guys doing all-wheel drive. So we can't just throw them away or discount all-wheel drive. We gotta try and keep them within the hobby and accommodate for them until such time that they see that all-wheel drive it just doesn't do it anymore, and you gotta go rear-wheel drive. So we're gonna see how that goes. Yeah. So in in Durban yesterday, we had our round two of our league. Um, the interesting point to note about the league in Durban is that uh, even though we've ran the league in previous years, last year we actually stopped the league simply because we didn't have the numbers running. So it was a very tough pull and very bitter pull for me to swallow, because as much as I like social drifting, I also enjoy competitive drifting. I don't know about you guys. Um, what do you guys really enjoy? Do you enjoy the competitive side, or do you enjoy the social side? Do you enjoy both? I love both. I like the social side where we just jam together with everybody, but at the same time, I really want to put myself against the best to see how well I do. And I also use this as a sort of a judging or a yardstick to see how far I've progressed and where I'm lacking. So that's why I like to compete. And for me, I don't know. Of course, everybody likes to win, but I don't mind if I lose, because I know when I'm on the track, I'm giving it my best. So I really like competing. Okay, so Stuart says it makes the bringing of new members much harder, because when you look at entering drifting and the prices of rear wheel drive chassis, it's scary and people shy away. I absolutely agree, bro. And that's the reason why in Durban we still have so many all wheel drive drifters. And I'm sure in Cape Town there's quite a few guys doing all wheel drive. They get thrown off by the cost of rear wheel drive. But at the same time, I agree and I disagree. I think that with the advancements of the technology uh, and the the various types and brands and different drift chassis, rear wheel drive chassis you get out there, I really think that it's become affordable. Because when you look at some of these guys who drift all wheel drive and the amount of money they spend on the all wheel drive, if they just be a little patient and save up that same money, they can easily afford a very good, very decent rear wheel drive chassis. So it's something that they really need to uh, be cognizant of, and they really need to think about that. So, to all the guys that's just joined in, welcome. Thank you for joining in. This is your boy Bob Rock, and this is the B Rock RC show. Uh, Thank you so much again for joining in and listening, and I really really appreciate all of the support. And keep listening in. If you can, please share the link. I also upload all the episodes onto my YouTube channel. Now, I I know it's a bit of a big favor to ask, but if you could subscribe to the YouTube channel, I'm just looking for 100 subscribers, just so I can change the channel name. So if you can get me there, I'd really love that. But yeah, okay. So Stefan says only join competition for the social part and to see if my drifting is any good. I think we have a very similar outlook on the social and the competitive drifting, bro. Um, I'm the same. I want for me the competition. Yes, I must admit I want to win a trophy. I do. So sue me, But at the same time, I'm not a how can I put it? I'm not a sore loser about it. And hey, Jenny, thank you for listening in. Jenny is my Jenny, Stefan, Rob, Rich, the other Rob. All these guys are all my teammates, my Kamwadi family. And yeah, so when we refer to Kamwadi, we don't refer it to as a team. We refer to it as a family because that's what we are. And we are worldwide. So yeah, like I was saying, Stefan, yeah, for me, I want to win that trophy. I want to try to win that trophy. If I don't, I know that I got to improve. However, the competition also tells me how far I've progressed, and so far, I've seen how far I've come. Don't care, don't care about losing, but want to do better than the previous one. 100%, brother. 100%. That's exactly how I feel as well. I totally agree with you. I don't know whether anybody else agrees with that, but yeah, that's how I feel. So yeah, so that's what's been happening in SA with regards to the comps. So with our comps at our track, we actually have an outdoor track as well, and it's a painted smooth concrete track. I'm sure some of you guys have seen the pictures. If you haven't, let me know, and um, and I'll post up a couple of pictures of the track. Hey, what's up, Daniel? I'm sorry I can't pronounce the your first name and your surname, um, but I will message you and ask you to send me a voice note with how you pronounce your name, because it's important for me to get your name right. Okay, so Stuart says, sure, I understand that now. After being an all-wheel drive drifter, I was anti rear wheel drive until I tried it and got used to it. Fell in love and couldn't understand why I spent so much time and effort on all wheel drive. But yes, all wheel drive is necessary as a step into the world of drifting. Oh no, there's no need to be sorry, bro. Ah, Swedish. Okay, excellent. Um, yeah, Stuart. Yes, some would argue that it's not necessary that you go through all-wheel drive, and one prime example of that is actually Ziad from Cape Town, who came up with us to two worlds. He's never drifted all-wheel drive. He went straight into rear-wheel drive, and that kid is amazing. He's an amazing drifter. So I think that perhaps for some people, getting into all-wheel drive or CS first and then rear-wheel drive uh, would be a good thing. And for others, going straight into rear-wheel drive actually works out better. So, excuse me. So it really depends on the person. Okay, so Jenny says, I agree, Bob. For great comp, it have to be social and competitive. I won't be there if I don't get both. 100%, my girl. 100%. I totally agree with you. Um, uh, and as I mentioned earlier, as much as I like competing, I also like the social drifting. So and also uh, and even earlier, I mentioned that drifting is a very social hobby, very social hobby. So I think that's one of the beauty parts about RC drifting. Um, Yeah, so I was just going around the country, speaking about what's happening here and there in all the main cities. And so I was talking with my Komodi family and asking them, like, what's going on on your end of the world. So Paul has given me a little bit update from the UK, where he says finally there's a national competition happening in the UK, which kind of got me by surprise, because I always thought that the UK had some sort of national sort of competition going on. So yeah, he showed me a poster where there's gonna be three there's three main regions, and I think there's like three comps in the three main regions, which culminates in a final at Silverstone. So what's going to happen there is there's a northern region, the Midlands, and the southern region. So I think all the comps are going to happen throughout the year, and then a final in Silverstone, which is, I've heard about Silverstone, but I've never actually really gone too much deeper into it. So I think for the guys out in UK, I think that's going to be fantastic, because Paul was mentioning that it's like almost 10 years, and then you guys are finally getting a national comp. So I think that's pretty big. She's also had a little bit else to say about it, and which is something that perhaps we can sort of start a topic and let it overflow onto into next week's episode, where he mentioned that part of the reason why they stopped the national competition was due to politics in RC drifting, and it got so bad that it actually chased people away, and it caused quite a bad rift, and that sort of opened the way for Michelle to do the worlds. So I wonder if you guys have any comments about that, about the politics in RC drifting. Uh, I must say that in Durban, yes, we did have a little bit of politics, but it wasn't so bad that we couldn't come to some resolve and sort the issues out. But I heard in other places it got really bad, and sadly, politics is the reason why we lose many great and fantastic drifters. And we gotta try and keep our egos down, you know if we want to be in this hobby. This hobby here is not for people with big egos, and it's not for the I'm better than yous, and I have better gear than you. This hobby, if that's how you feel about this hobby, if that's how you want to be in this hobby, get out now. We don't need you. We don't need people like you. We don't even like people like you. We are people of sound mind. We are people who enjoy the company of others. We enjoy people who are open minded and who are there to have fun, and who are there without any ego at all. So please keep in mind, RC drifting is an amazing hobby. It's a social hobby. It's a beautiful hobby, and an even more beautiful community. We want people like that. We honestly don't need people who's gonna come in there and cause any issues. We don't need people who's gonna come in there like a wisecrack and start chirping people and sort of create an elitist ideology within the within the community. We don't need people like that. As it is, and I'm sure this is happening worldwide. As it is, we have the RC drifting community like sort of shrinks and then expands again and then shrinks even smaller and then expands again. And we don't need issues like this to cause the community to shrink. We need we need people to be there, to be warm and welcoming and friendly and helpful. We That's the kind of people we need. That's the kind of people we are. And uh, I'm sure that people, the guys that know me, know that I try and be as helpful as possible and as welcoming as possible. And that's really all that we ask of guys within the hobby. We don't need uh, this thing that, and I'm just gonna put it out there that Yokomo is better than, and Overdose is better than, and Rev D is better than, and etc. And all of the other, and D Like is better than, and all these amazing brands. All these brands have made an effort to produce a product that they are proud of, so that the community, the RC drifting community, can be proud of and use, and not uh, not to rival and compete with in a bad way, but to sort of compete with each other in a good way. And by it's us that created this rift and the strange notion that one thing is better than the other. And that's not who we are, and that's not who we should be. You using Yokomo, you got the latest RR, or you're using the SX, the purple SX with all the gear and everything, and I'm using the standard YD2G, the first generation YD2 that came out. Um, we've both spent the same amount of time tuning the car. I can keep up with your chassis, although you have a slight advantage over me. I shouldn't be I shouldn't be like, you spend so much on your hopped up chassis. I got just a plain old simple plastic chassis, yet I'm drifting better than you. That's ridiculous. That got nothing to do with anything. That man spent that money because he can afford it, because he loves the hobby and he loves the brand and he wants to support the brand. And you coming uh, with your low budget chassis, but you are a good drifter. Now you wanna, because you are a good drifter, you want to use that as an excuse to put people down, and we don't need that kind of negativity in the hobby. Always remember that just because somebody has something more than you doesn't mean that you should put them down, and it doesn't mean that you are better than them, and it doesn't mean that they are better than you. No one's better than or higher than each other. If you get what I'm trying to say. So my point is, the RC drifting community does not need negativity, does not need ego, does not need wisecracks, and does not need that extra people on the track. We don't need those people. We really don't. We need people who are gonna gonna push the hobby. We need people um, who can not necessarily lead, but stand up to be seen in the community as one of those people who, as like a role model. Just stand up and be a role model. uh, don't hide away, don't shy away. stand up and be a role model. If you know something or if you can help somebody, please go ahead and help them. Be an ambassador for this hobby, and I promise you will have more people joining us. I guarantee you that people have been turned away from the hobby simply because somebody had a lot to say and somebody threw you off. And I've experienced, I can't say that I've experienced that, but I've come across people who do that. And so I'm the kind of person that doesn't really like confrontation. So I don't like confrontation. So I try and after those people went off on the other guy, I go to that person and say, look, excuse what that person says. They're not in the right frame of mind. But this is what you should do. And anytime you need help, call me, message me, and are you serious, bro? Sorry, I had to stop because I can't. Wow, bro. Like straight up, just like that, straight up. Whew, okay. Okay. So So Stuart says the idea is to learn from each other, no matter what brand you use. Drifting is about technique, and you learn technique from fellow drifters. Yeah, exactly, man. Exactly. However, you get people who prefer a certain brand, but just because you prefer a certain brand does not make you better than anybody else. Okay, thank goodness. At least he knows. Nah, Dale, you're the man, dude. You are the man. I'm sure you guys know that. Uh, you guys know Dale Clements. He runs the raffles, and he does a lot for the drifting community worldwide. So not he gives everybody a chance to get their hands on some really nice RC gear, and just for a fraction of the cost. So you guys, please support Dale whenever he posts up. It's really for a good cause, and that good cause is yourself. So, because like I said, he puts up some amazing gear, and you have a good shot. You really do. I know I tried, and I failed miserably. But it's not just about trying for the gear. It's also supporting a friend, which I'm a firm supporter of. Is support your local business, support your friends in the business, and hashtag local is lekker. You guys know what I'm talking about. So yeah, boys. I think that's my take on the hobby, and just my opinion on the direction we really should go when it comes to the preservation of RC drifting. I'd love to know, get your feedback on that. Maybe I'm talking absolute rubbish. No, you tell me. Um, but yeah, it's an incredible journey. Um, I'd love to hear personally. I'd love to hear some of your stories, some of your journeys. Genuinely, I'd love to listen to your journey. I want to know you. I want to know you, who you are. I want to know your story, your life story. So, um, I won't I won't speak about it if you don't want me to in my next podcast, but just from me to you, or you to me, whichever way, just to get to know you better. I'd love to know your story, and you sharing your story, and I'll share with you many of my stories, and let's get to know each other a little bit better. I'd really like that. So yeah, guys, let's see. Oh yes, I was supposed to talk about Cape Town. Jeez, how could I forget that? Okay, So Cape Town round two is happening this weekend, as Cisco mentioned earlier in the podcast. Um, Cape Town has always had a reputation for producing some very tough drifters, some very skilled and very how can I put it, adaptable RC drifters. So wherever in the past, wherever they went, they've been um, they've had a reputation for dominating these competitions also. Ha, Stuart, Slapstart. Hardly, dude, hardly. They may be called Slapstart, but the drifting is nothing, is anything but slap. um, so one of the things that I like about Cape Town, the Cape Town track is it's not a set track. They have an open space where they drift, and uh, as I said, it's not a set track, so it's very dynamic there, and I'd like to think that it's also a bit organic. So they always change up their tracks, like maybe twice a month, I think, or maybe once a month they change up their track. So they're never drifting on the same course for very long or often, and I think that's amazing practice for a drifter to learn to adapt to different tracks. So that's really good. But however, the surface remains the same, which is fine, really. But yeah, that's one of the things I'm actually very impressed about Cape Town. Um, but with that being said, EDC up in Joburg and the Drift Trap, which is in Pretoria, close to where Vivian is, their tracks, although it's a set track, but the way they've designed it is that you can change up the course a little bit. So I think that's also really cool. Unfortunately, in Durban we have quite a dedicated set track, so we have very few options to run a different course. So we can run it in forward, run it in reverse, and then there's a few portions of the track which we can cordon off and give it a little bit of a change. But essentially, it's pretty much set. Now I'm not upset about it or not cut up about it, but I would have liked uh, a little more variation to it. Now, had we known then what we know now, I think we would have done a much different surface. All in all, though, we have the only dedicated RC drift track in our whole province, the whole KZN province. So that's something really proud to be about. Um, yeah. So speaking about Cape Town again, their round two is happening this Sunday. I'm not sure if anybody is going to go live there, but perhaps somebody from Cape Town may go live for a few minutes just to bring you some of the action there. And I know they have some very strict judges there also. So that's going to be. I'm going to keep my eye on what's going on in Cape Town, and as I mentioned earlier in the podcast, I'm also trying to get myself to these different regions um, to enter in one of their competitions, just to see how I'm progressing, and also to experience the competition in other regions, not on a national sort of stage, but a regional stage, and just see how it differs to how we run things here, and what can I learn from them so that I can implement here with my guys here in Durban. So for me, that's my mission for the year. Um, Yes, I'm so sorry, Stuart. I really apologize about that. I also I forgot about um, the Drift Rats, which is a complete indoor track. I have mentioned it in other episodes as well. But yeah, so Stuart says our small indoor track in Rudderport is also very changeable, which is nice. We get to experiment various styles of track. Yes, I did see that. I did notice that, and I apologize for missing out on your track. But yeah, they also have a very nice track which they've managed to build in a very short space of time, which is very impressive. Um, so yeah, guys, that's how it's going down in the RC drifting world. Um, I'd like to feature, if for the guys that are still listening, if you guys are listening from overseas, please message me if you guys are having events or having comps, because I'd really like to uh, get a feel for what's going on your end of the world, and also let everybody else know what's happening in your country. I think, what was it? Germany. I think it was D110 Germany, and Sweden had the comps this weekend as well. If I'm not mistaken, if somebody can just correct me on that, I think you guys have something going on there. So I'd love to know what's happening in your region. How do you run the comps? How do your points work? How does your scoring work? How does your judging work? Um, Please, I genuinely I want to know. So if you guys can just pop me a message, and we'll get chatting. Hey, what's up, my bro? What's up? It's been ages since I've seen you, guy. When are you coming to Durban? We need to hook up a fishing session, man. Okay, Cisco says, and we love to follow all drifting around the world. Yes, yes, we do, we love to keep an eye, and not in a sense that we like spying, but we just love to know what's happening in the world of drifting around us. What's happening in Japan, Malaysia, Singapore, um, Ukraine, the UK, the US, and everywhere else in between. Europe. We love to know what's happening over there, simply because, and I'm sure Cisco will agree with me on this. We follow the drifting simply because we love the drifting, and simply because we look up to many. Norway, okay, and simply because we love drifting. Yeah, I saw that, dude. I saw you doing quite a few car events there. That's awesome, man. You must. I'm keeping an eye out on you. Yeah, Sweden, Italy, Prague, Ukraine, UK. Yeah, man. Uh, Cisco, am I right in saying all these countries do the run the D110 series? If I'm not mistaken. Wow. Yeah, man. We love to see. Ooh, speaking about events, one event I would like to do is cross games. I'd love to do cross games, see the country, and hit that comp. I think that will be very cool. So there's a couple that I'd love to do. Um, I don't know whether the US. I don't know. Does the US have a big national comp, uh, or any big comps there? I'm just trying to think now. Well, Rob or Rich or the other Rob, if you guys have any big US events, US drift events, let us know. We'd like to follow that. So like TDM is one, is another one. They have one coming up. Okay, awesome. I think we will keep our eyes on that. TDM is another one I'd like to enter, and then the the Yokomo International Drift Meet. That's another one at Yatabe. Oh, that's like the dreamland. I'm sure lots of people want to drift there. Let's see. Jenny says you're at both in Sweden and Germany this weekend. Ah, yes, yes, yes. Remind me to get in touch with you just to find out how's it going. Yeah, man, Thailand, TDM. We're gonna roll with the Mr. Wee, and the DS Racing team. Let's see. Yeah, so Cross Games, TDM, Yokomo Drift Meet. Oh, the other one, RCDC. That'll be cool. Um, and then yes, of course, the D110 series in Europe. I think if you go for any one of them, it'll be such a blast. So that'll be very very cool to enter. So yeah, guys. I don't know how long I've been on this, and I've been having so much of fun, and I hope you guys have been having fun too. I think it's been more than an hour. I'm not even sure. For the guys that's listening, thank you guys. Hey, what's up, Kent? Thank you for listening in, bro. Really appreciate it. Um, if I'm not mistaken, um, Jenny, Jenny and David have a home track that's gonna be opening very soon in Sweden, if it hasn't opened already. But either way, there's a track that's there, and I believe there's a grand opening comp that's gonna have. Jenny, if you could just confirm that, so we can let the people know that Sweden's gonna be the place to be, and that's going to be the place to enter the next comp. I believe that they also have accommodation at the track, which is fantastic, which is amazing. Oh, it's open already. Ah, that's amazing. Okay, so the new track in Sweden, they have accommodation at the track. Can you imagine? It's like 24 hours of drifting. Now, if you go for the weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, drifting. Oh my god, that has to be the best thing ever. The home track of Crazy Drifters. Ah, that is awesome, guys. So if you don't know, now you know. There's the home track of the Crazy Drifters out in Sweden. They have a 16-bed place on the track, so you can actually go there, book in for the weekend, have a blast drifting, drift yourself out of drifting for the next like few months or whatever it is. Okay, so they have a comp in April. Okay, well, it's a bit short notice, but I'm sure there's going to be a number of people who would love to enter that comp. So please, guys, you know, go support the track. It's a new track, and look at that. They even have accommodation at the track, which is amazing. Which is not something you really come across too often, where you find accommodation at the track. So the guys have put in a lot of effort to give drifters the full drifting experience. So you guys really should take advantage of that and go and visit the track, stay over, and have an absolute blast, and take lots of pictures and videos so we can all see what's going on there. Yeah, guys, I think I've been chatting for like more than an hour. I don't know, but it's been an absolute blast spending the time with you guys and interacting with you all. I really appreciate the support, and I hope you guys will continue supporting me in this venture. Um, if there's anything that you guys would want me to talk about, or you want me to sort of let the world know, or there's something you want me to address, just hit me up, just message me, and I'll take it from there. Again, if anybody needs any help with anything, no matter what, if I can help you, I will be there for you. You just hit me up and I will be there. Um, and even if you don't need any help, you just want somebody to rant or to talk to, just hit me up and I'm always there for you. Okay, so Jenny has posted up a link to the Swedish Drift series. So if you guys go in the comments, click on the link and it'll take you to the comp. So I think you guys should support any local track, any geo track. Go and support your local track, and have an awesome time. So thank you guys for listening in. Thank you to everybody who's listened in to the entire show. That's amazing of you guys. I really, really sincerely appreciate it. And I hope you have an awesome week ahead. And I want to wish all the guys out in Cape Town, wish you guys all of the best for your round two on Sunday. Please, if you guys are going live, please tag me in there. I'd love to see what's going on. I'd love to do a little recap of the comp as well. And also to all the guys up in Joburg at EDC who've done they've done an amazing job with the roof structure over that open track, that outdoor track. It looks amazing. I can't wait to meet you guys there and drift there with you guys. And all the best with your future endeavors there. And to my boys, my hometown boys, we're gonna meet up on Sunday, and we're gonna step things up another level. We're gonna take things a little bit further, and we're gonna show the guys up in Joburg and in Cape Town that Durban, although we smaller, we are dynamite as well. So we're not just gonna lay down and take it easy. We're gonna come with a fire. We're gonna bring the heat. So you guys in other regions, you better watch out because we are working on something, and you guys will see. Come nationals, I think you guys will be surprised. Yeah, thanks, Stuart. I really appreciate it, my bro. Uh, so yeah, guys, like I said, if you've got anything coming up you'd like me to promo it, just hit me up and I'll gladly do that for you. You need any help? I'm always a message away. Even if you just want to chat, just message me. I'll always have time for all you Drew family and my family and friends. Everybody, just message me, and I'm there for you. So, with that, I'd like to say have a good evening, have an awesome week ahead, and catch you next week. Take it easy, guys. Peace.